Yes, I'm 29 years old. He let her fly back to Germany while he stayed home in Stream League, just to show his character as a human being. Look at her right now. Vulnerable, scared, anxious. Dantes just sits there and streams League of Legends.
The fact that this disgusting piece of the most traumatic thing that either of us has ever had to go through.
The current generation we live in is probably more divisive than any previous generation we've ever had. One thing that brings everyone together, everyone could agree unanimously, is Twitter is a bad place. By now, the site is really only used to complain about current thing. Now, I'm sure I could sit here and say that there's a deep problem with society. That's one of the main reasons why Twitter is so bad, but it's not. Like Twitter, the website itself, it just sucks. It's usually catered to rage baiting. That's why, for example, quote tweets are so popular. And, when you're shown purposely annoying information that makes you angry, you keep scrolling. And what do you see in between every third scroll? An ad. On Twitter, there are also gimmick accounts that get a lot of, flack for basically just being gimmick accounts and usually breaking character. But to be fair, they're one of the few people on the platform that's actually being paid any kind of money to be there. Now, this story does originate from Twitter, but also coming from a place even arguably worse than Twitter, and that is League of Legends.
Oh! 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 You've been grabbed! You've been grabbed!
Now, this story involves two very popular League of Legends streamers, Dantes.
Mom! What do you want? The voices are back!
And Laura, or her, online name, Laurench, I think. Now, I am not well versed in League of Legends lore at all. Like this isn't even me being like, oh, I know some of this. Like, I know nothing. Absolutely nothing. The first time I played League of Legends, I bought a sword from the item store and I had no idea how to use it, and I was looking around for 20 minutes and I didn't even realize it was a passive item. But Laura and Dantes had been seen together quite a lot for the past year or so, so it was safe to assume they were in a relationship. But then on the 19th of June, Dantes basically broke the big news that they're not together anymore. They broke up. And to give Dantes credit, the post he put out talking about the breakup, there was no snides. It was, very professional. He basically admitted in the tweet himself that it was his fault and he wasn't ready for a relationship, even questioning himself if he made the right choice, and also saying that before the relationship even started from the get-go, his career was a number one priority. Now, I do know a lot of people have used similar wording to try and get out of a relationship. They call it like a bit of a cope, where they basically say, oh, it's me, it's not you, you never did anything wrong. But he's basically admitting that, yeah, unfortunately, he did put his career first, and that's his fault, and he can't be in a relationship because of that. Because if he were to stay in the relationship, he'd basically just be dragging both of them down, and they'd both be unhappy. And up until now, that was the entire story. So why is the video so long? Why is it not over yet? Because of course, like everything, that's because another streamer threw their hat into the ring when no one asked. And that is Tarzaned. Now, Tarzaned is mostly known as a coacher, which is essentially trying to get people to be better at the game. Now, I feel the word coaching has become like a bit of a broader term. Usually, again, it did mean someone who would, guide you through a game, help you get better, improve your reaction times. But now it's basically boiled down to people in Twitch chat telling you what gun to buy. And apparently now that's coaching. Now, I do want to say their breakup with Dantes and Laura, it was publicized. And unfortunately, they kind of had to do that because if they're openly dating or, they're too well-known figures and they're in a relationship and they're not anymore, people will speculate. There's been many examples of creators that have broken up with their partner. I mean, for example, Critical putting out a post on his Instagram a couple of months ago and he asked for privacy, rightfully so. That's basically how it goes for every single statement. They want to put out there that they're not together to stop speculation, but they also want their privacy respected. Now, I could not even begin to fathom what was going through Tarzan's head, but he basically took it upon himself to spill all the beans for the breakup, which on said stream showing private screenshots between Dantes and Tarzaned talking about Laura, and again, like it just wasn't his right to share these. Now, obviously, the entire point Tarzaned showing these was to basically portray the picture that Dantes was a really shitty boyfriend. Now, if that was the idea, I mean, Dantes kind of already did it himself, because if you read the statement he put out, he blames himself entirely. He says he was, emotionally immature, he wasn't ready for a relationship. He was basically, without saying it directly, he was putting League of Legends in front of his girlfriend. Again, Dante said he was going to put his career first. Laura was in that relationship knowing that, unfortunately, she was kind of, you know, a secondary objective. I just don't think these screenshots talking about Laura should have really been shared unless Laura was the one doing it herself, because, you know, talking about all this stuff and you're not even there present to give context, it's just not right. Now, after this statement came out, there was drama everywhere. I mean, they've talked about an abortion on Laura's side, and now, unfortunately, that then means that after they broke up and they kind of dealt with it, you know, privately and stuff, now they both have to speak publicly about it because people are never going to stop hounding them and asking them questions. So they both presented that information in very different ways. Laura came out with more of a tweet talking about it, which was obviously a lot more premeditated, more structured. And then you had Dantes just talking about it on a live stream.
But the fact that he decides to leak something like that as some kind of truth bomb, the fact that this disgusting fucking piece of shit sits there and talks in front of thousands of people, leaking probably the most traumatic thing that either of us has ever had to go through in front of thousands, when I didn't even talk about it to my closest friends. He is the most disgusting person I've ever met.
Now, you think this would be a situation where Laura would come out and be like, oh, my story was shared, thank you so much? No, even she hates Tarzan. Like no one is in this guy's corner for spilling this information. She says 29-year-old man-child thinks it's okay to talk about a random woman's trauma is disgusting to me. Now, both of these reactions are completely valid. I mean, both of them do actually hate Tarzan for what he's done. Although I will be honest here, the only reason I even knew about the story in the first place is because when Dantes was freaking out, that was basically clipped by all the clip farmers and put all over TikTok. And it really sucks because there's obviously beef between Dantes and Tarzan, and then this girl Laura is just being dragged into it without consenting at all. I think people need to realize there's a huge difference between exposing someone and then just airing dirty laundry to try and take a few jabs at them. Because again, Tarzan was not dating any of these people, and Laura's abortion apparently had nothing to do with the initial breakup. And obviously, like I said at the start of this video, it all stemmed from Twitter. So Twitter somehow, like, they are contrarian to the point that apparently Laura has been getting like death threats and harassment despite the woman being put through an abortion. Twitter has somehow manifested that she is the bad person in this situation. Saying sorry now won't fix anything. He told me in Brazil I should not talk openly about it because people will hate on me and destroy me. At the time, I'd explained to him over 4 minutes why I didn't want it to be public, because I'm still crying on the day every month where the abortion happened, knowingly that people will call me a killer, child murderer, slut, I should go die with my baby. He continued defending his position and justifying why he said he's in the right to talk about it without my consent, because she talked openly about it with him in a private setting. She then shows some DMs she's got from people, and they are just, you know, completely vile, but again, certified Twitter moment. So it really seems that he, you know, has completely destroyed her trust, because everything he's told her, he's basically just gone public about it. Now, I know I've been talking about 3 people during this, but there is a 4th person involved now. But this person basically wanted to come forward and show all the lies that are being presented against Dantes and Laura. Now, I've already talked about how Tarzan jumped in and made the situation, a private situation, a million billion times worse. But now you've got someone jumping in to defend Tarzan, and that is Hazmat. Now, what this guy did is basically the equivalent of like the nerd with the glasses emoji pointing his finger up going,
actually, Laura talked about this before, so Tarzan actually was in his right to cover it.
I think these are topics that a lot of people don't talk about because they're not normalized, you know? Abortion in a super young age, like, we don't talk about what that does to a person, you know? Because, like, this is like, there's some time past since that happened and I still suffer from it. I think I should have thought more about it, 100%. Do I sometimes regret doing it? Also, yes. But if you oversee the emotional part and just think for a rational financial part, it was the right decision.
Now, when Hazmat posted this, I assume in his head this would be like an own of epic proportions. He found a clip of Laura talking about the abortion before, you know, publicly coming out about it. But the biggest consensus from this is no one took it well, and everyone was basically saying, why are you trying to God defend Tarzan so much? Now, this as well caught the attention of Dantes, and his reply, I'll be honest, I went into this video, I don't play League, I don't know the League scene, but because of this man's response, I might actually start playing League of Legends. Genuinely, go fuck yourself, man. You're not some kind of newscaster or anything. You're a young Eastern European kid willing to do anything for clicks just because your only moral ground that you stand on is sensationalism. If you don't think there's a massive difference between her broadly talking about an abortion that she pretended was years ago because she didn't want it to involve me or anything regarding our relationship, and clearly trying not to relate to anything she was currently going through just so she could express her pain in front of several hundred people that supported her because it's something that troubles her constantly, versus a man sitting there and revealing the details surrounding it so that it can be used as a weaponized attack in front of tens of thousands of live watchers, as well as hundreds of thousands of secondary platforms to put all eyes on her and harass her and I for it. There's something seriously wrong with you. Not to mention the fact that at the time of releasing it, he had absolutely no knowledge whatsoever that she'd even broadly discussed the idea of it, and that he knew exactly what he was doing since he sat on the idea of it for weeks. Take some accountability. Not only did you post lies that were later disproven that you never took down your words, but you also sat here, posted this with the intention of defending an indefensible man, and then had the audacity to make somewhat of a public vouch for him. You're nothing more than a leech, and a truly horrible, rotten one at that. Oh my based. Now, Dantes here is completely in the right. These are two very different situations, and to compare them is incredibly unfair. She did talk about the abortion, but she purposely lied about when it happened to basically, you know, broadly express her trauma and to tell a story without actually getting Dantes into any kind of trouble. And that was her own choice. She wasn't forced into doing that. I mean, it's pretty easy for these people calling them out on Twitter to be like, oh, yep, great. Done a great job today, guys. I got 3 million impressions and 50 new followers. Now I can go to bed happy. But the people that they're talking about, they're the ones that have to live with this. I mean, I know the meme already that basically no one on the internet anymore has any kind of privacy, let alone, you know, streamers, e-celebs. Now, according to Dantes as well, there's a deleted VOD from Tarzaned. And this is where apparently he interviewed 4 women, presumably past girlfriends of Dantes. Now, even though that VOD has been deleted, it's been wiped, Dantes still wanted to address it. In a now deleted VOD, Tarzan just went live on his stream and interviewed 4 girls so they could expose me for my wrongdoings. Just let me go over what each of the girls said one by one so you can truly understand the magnitude of how evil I am. Girl 1, accusation, posted pictures of us on nice dates. Response, I took her out on nice dates. Accusation 2, says that I took multiple girls to the same plaza when I would bring them on dates. Response, there's a plaza near my house that has restaurants I'd like. I bring them there and pay for the dates. Accusation 3 brings up that she asked me the first time me and Laura met if it was anything serious, and that my answer was that I had stated that I wasn't looking for anything committed. Response, when me and Laura first met, I had no intention of entering a committed relationship, which is what I told her. Accusation 4, I wouldn't tell girls that I was talking to that I was sleeping with other girls. Response, I never told any of the girls on stream that we were ever exclusive, and for every single one of them, we talked a few weeks at most. Why would I randomly message them when I would decide to sleep with others? I can accept the fault that I should have never gotten too emotionally involved with them in the first place, but anything more than that is lunacy. Accusation 5, I would become very cold when she would directly mention talking to other men to me. Response, no shit. Accusation 6 says that I control women by showing them that I would feel weird when they would mention other men messaging them. Response, I never forced any of them to stop, only showed that I wasn't as interested when they would directly mention it to me. Lol. Girl 2, accusation 1. When Laura appeared on my stream, she'd asked me what my affiliation was with her, and I had answered that she was just another streamer that felt led on. Response, at that point, me and the girl were talking for like maybe a week and a half. Laura appeared on my stream, but then at the time of writing the message, nothing sexual had happened between us. I could have been more forthcoming though. Accusation 2 said that I'd gotten mad at her because she posted a thirst trap on Visco after talking to me for a day or 2. Response, when I saw that she posted a thirst trap, I became more cold and withdrawn. Girl 3. He brought on the girl I'd called a disgusting whore on Twitter 2 days ago. She was asked 2 questions. Did you sleep with Dantes? No. Did you ever discuss your body count with Dantes? No. Okay, thank you for your time. I am not even trolling. Dude, I wish I could see this VOD. This is so genius. Like, he's actually clapping back on Twitter. And then if that wasn't enough to basically clap back at every single individual girl, he then does a little statement at the end. All I'm saying is that it's truly disgusting that after only several hours of exposing mine and Laura's abortion, he went on his live stream blasting Judge Judy music and Judge Judy music. League streamer have any sense of morality challenge impossible. And parading the title, Dante's victims expose him just for this to be the end result. He shows once again that he's nothing more than a freak. Yes, I wasn't the best when it came to talking stages, and I'll own up to it. But to sit here and paint me as some kind of devil that you're ridding the world of to throw some of the heat off you because several hours prior, you did one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen amazes me. Although I doubt this will be the end of it all, I'll end this tweet off with the following message. Tarzaned, you're a disgusting human being, and the fact that you're willing to make a complete mockery of multiple girls that you labeled as victims for your own benefit just because you can throw some heat off your back attests to your true character. Blasting Judge Judy music, having another man host the stream that constantly made excuses for your behavior and earlier in the day, and then deleting the VOD when you realized it did nothing but make you look worse, just exposes the wretched little freak clown that you are. I'm glad that finally, after all these years, everyone can finally see the person that you truly are. A pathetic little boy in a man's body that uses his false sense of bravado to uphold a moral code that he himself doesn't truly believe in. I think what people need to remember is this beef started exclusively between Tarzaned and Dantes, and now Dantes and other people are trying to use Laura, this victim, as a way to weaponize her against Dantes. And of course, any way to wrap up spicy drama is an apology. Tarzaned ended up putting an apology out on Twitter, and it was awful. I want to openly express my deepest sympathies and apologize to those who have been hurt by my recent actions. Over the course of my life, I would always remind myself that my anger stemmed from League of Legends. Did bro just blame League for, like, publicizing an abortion? And that I was a completely normal individual outside the game. No, you're not. Despite this, I have let my behavior and anger seep into who I was as a person, and I need to grow to change and apologize for what I've done. I've come to terms with my attitude and refuse to remain in denial and not become better. At a certain point in time, one must realize that they aren't as untouchable and complete as a human being as once they thought they were. Retaliation has always been my kryptonite. If someone did me wrong, I would escalate things far beyond what is normal and act vindictive, petty, and spiteful. I like how he's comparing, like, planning on releasing private information as a gotcha and interviewing exes as, like, you know, just talking shit in League chat. Despite my intentions being to showcase someone else in a dark light, I dragged into the mix yet another person into the mix who did not deserve to be a part of it. Their private life should have stayed at that, private. My intentions were to highlight someone's true character, and all I did in the process was showcase my lack thereof. I sabotaged everything in the name of merely winning an internet beef. Once again, I let my ego get the better of me. I've always felt the need to make others feel bad if they've hurt me. This is something I'm working on and trying to grow to be more mature and let these situations not escalate, even if I feel it's provoked or justified. I like how he's just said, like, he's like apologizing, and then he's basically saying that he doesn't need to because it's justified. I now know that I need to be the bigger person, okay? And I aim to achieve that level of maturity to be worthy of my community's trust. As far as all the hateful comments I've received, I acknowledge and know that I deserve many of them. I made people that care about me most upset and have resurfaced trauma for them that I should have been more cognizant of. Cognizant. Is that a word? Cognizant is literally not a word, by the way. He probably means cognizant. When my family, the most important people in my life, are coming to me disappointed and ashamed, I know that it's truly in my best interest to accept responsibility for those I've hurt. I appreciate my community, loved ones, and everyone who has given me countless years of support. I recognize that I hurt people as collateral damage. That was never my intent. I currently do not feel it's right for me to continue making content. For that reason, I'll be taking some time off to reevaluate my life, past actions, and mental, so that when I come back, I'll be someone more worthy of your support. Also, I'm unable to change my profile picture. Sorry for that. If I do return, I will focus solely on creating content. I can only alter my actions, not others. Why does every YouTuber do that for, like, an apology, man? Like, they always do the whole, I'm taking a break to learn and reevaluate. It's like when a YouTuber does, like, a long sigh at the start of a video. So, let's go through the eCeleb apology checklist. Didn't take accountability? Check. Made it all about himself somehow? Check. Left Laura unnamed completely. Didn't even bother telling the name despite him leaking it everywhere and just referred to her as collateral damage. Check. Taking a break to better himself. Check. Failed his fan base completely. Check. I'll be honest, the only thing he didn't hit on the checklist is the deep sigh at the beginning of the apology, and the only reason he didn't is because it's a tweet. So in conclusion, I hope Dantes is doing well. I hope Laura's doing even better. And this Tarzan guy, he genuinely needs, like, actual help.